Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third live part of our truck convoy for Special Olympics today. Hope everybody had a good lunch. Hope you did a convoy to Tim Hortons or wherever you buy your lunch and enjoyed that. Welcome back, Jim. Jim's back on the line with me.
I sure missed the pulled pork sandwiches, I'll tell you. I had a toasted peanut butter and jam sandwich. Doesn't quite cut it.
Oh, yeah, I know. We've got to get a little better. Listen, I'm going to try and paste this if I still have it, that apparently you can still order T-shirts. So the T-shirt link, let me see if I can. Oh, no, I better not do that. Okay, I can.
We got to keep those donations coming in for the next 55 minutes before we report the grand total, or hopefully at 2 o'clock. We were around... Oh, I'm not going to say that number. But we're climbing up there, approaching the goal. So if there's some opportunity to extort some money or throw some money in the pot, whether it's buying a T-shirt or making a donation, please do it. We got a little less than an hour left. I sound like Jerry Lewis here on the telethon, but that joke will go over most heads. But anyway, keep the funds coming in, folks. We're trying to get over that goal this year. A modest $20,000. I think we'll do it. So. Yeah. Stay busy.
For sure. Okay, I can't find the link, or I can't find out how to do it in my program. Both might be the problem. So what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to try and put it on while we're watching an interview, or I will try and put it. But if you go to truckconvoy.ca and where you can say, it says at the bottom, order T-shirts, click that link and it'll take you to the page where you can order the page. I guess they're sold out of what they had this morning, which is why they kind of readjusted their site, and now they've got it so you can at least order them. So I guess they're going to order another batch. So if you want to keep that going, you certainly can. We've had some great comments this morning. People are talking. The drivers are talking to the athletes. The athletes are talking to the drivers, and we're talking to all of you. So hopefully that is working for you, and hopefully you're having a good time. And even after this, encourage people to keep sharing and keep watching. And I've got my Special Olympics hat on today. You didn't put a hat on for lunch. Did we come up with any cool screensavers there, Jim?
Well, yeah, I've got, this is a shot from, I think the only year I can remember where the weather was actually not really cooperating. It was my famous first turn shot again. I think this was probably the angle you were thinking of. But here's this poor motorcycle cop out in the rain, leading the convoy out on a fairly crummy day, but that didn't dampen spirits. It still went on, and we still made tons of money that year. I think this was 2013 or 14.
Do you go to the same corner every year? Are you at the same corner every single year?
Well, there's two places I like to stop and grab pictures. Well, I should say, when we first started the convoy, the first couple of years, I would leave the Paris Fairgrounds early, get down to this corner because I knew we'd have the straight shot up the road, trucks coming up the hill. It's kind of a nice shot. And then from here, I'd boot over to 403 and run with the convoy. I'd meet them over there. As I caught the end of it, I'd drive over there with usually Sean Toman or somebody else. Actually, there's a couple of drivers, not drivers, who let me ride in their car. And I'd be hanging out the window taking all these road shots of the trucks. And then one of the OPP guys one day took me aside and said, Jim, you really ought not to do that.
I was just about to say that, Jim. I go, I think road safety, you're not
I had my seatbelt on and everything. I was strapped into the car, but just maybe hanging out the window a little bit too far for comfort. So anyway, they put the boots to that idea. So then I used to hang out here in this corner, and then on the way in, the very last turn heading toward the fairgrounds was another great spot to get shots of the truck. So I used to hang there as the convoy rolled in. Had all those spots scoped out,
So if you're one of those truck drivers who said, who is this crazy guy that's weaving in and out and racing ahead of the convoy and not paying attention, it was Jim.
I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat.
It was Jim's friend.
Jim's friend, yeah.
Oh, great. Well, listen, those are great shots. And I think I've seen those in the past on, I think, covers for magazines. And so you've got to read there.
They wound up around, At one point, Sean Toman, one of my little stories from previous convoy events, talking about, how these drivers raise money and some of their ingenuity. Sean Toman actually 1 year or 2 years, I guess, brought his own photo printer along to the event. And he'd taken some of the shots that I'd taken out on the road and was printing them out and selling them to the drivers, extorting more money from them. And one year he managed to bring in an extra $600 at the end of the convoy just from selling pictures. So, I mean, that's a pretty cool idea.
So just you can't see it, Jim, because of the way our programming works, but Sean was just on. As you said that, I put his comment on. So if you're watching it later, you'll see it. But he says, I remember Jim hanging out the window. So there you go.
Well, he did a great job with those pictures. And I think, as I said, one year, what did he do? I guess this was, got it written down here. Just in fairness to Sean, I want to get
Jim has to write things down because, well, he's older than me. Are you older than me?
I'm sure I'm older than dirt, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, big shout out to Sean, Sandra, and Georgina for being back on. Thank you for joining us again. We know that hopefully you had a good lunch, and I know I saw some of those. I saw those names this morning. So thanks for staying with us all day.
It was 2007 when Sean did that.
Okay.
Just for the record.
All right.
Way to go, Sean, if you're out there.
Way to go, Sean. Oh, great. Hey, Nancy's back on. Thank you. Or Michael's back on, or both back on. Maybe Michael's using Nancy's good, forget it. Anyway, all right, let's get on with something. So let's start. Thank you so much for being back with us again. You can keep donating. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. We have some amazing sponsors. I'll just put this up on the screen so people can see who we have on there. We have some amazing sponsors like Challenger Motor Freight, which PMTC, and Heritage, which are silver sponsors. Bronze sponsors are Driver Check for this year. And these are just for this year, folks. Media sponsors are Lead Pedal Podcast and Today's Trucking, and Value in Kind sponsors, Coaster Factory, OIDA, and Twin City Graphics. And I can tell you from past years, and Jim can verify this, that there are many, many more sponsors. It's been a tough year. We understand. We know that you're still with us in spirit, and you'll be back next year when things get a little better. I know it's a really weird year for everybody. So thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to the volunteers. Without volunteers, this cannot get done, my friends. And I don't know everybody's name, so I'm not even going to start down that list. But there are amazing volunteers out there that make sure that everything gets done every year. So thank you so much for that. Anything to add, Jim?
No, carry on, my friend. You're doing a great job.
All right. Okay. So we are going to go into a message from Glenn McDonald, who's the president and CEO of Special Olympics Ontario. He sent a little video message off to see for you guys.
It's Glenn McDonald. I'm the president and CEO of Special Olympics Ontario. I want to take this time to thank everyone in Convoy for stepping up this year in this most unusual times. You know, Tammy Blackwell has led this charge for 16 years. I can remember when Tammy introduced the concept to Lauren White and myself, we just were overtaken by her enthusiasm, but I got to tell you, we didn't really know much about Convoy. Now, 16 years later, we've got the greatest and the best convoy in the world. I'd also like to thank Don Dumphy, who in 2016 managed to get a second convoy going in Peel. The work and the effort of both these two convoys, the one in Paris and the one in Peel, have really been a tremendous support to Special Olympics, raising over $1 million in the 16 years. So to Tammy and the team in Paris, to Don and all those in Peel Regional Police who supported Convoy and the law enforcement torch run, I take a moment to say thank you on behalf of the 26,000 athletes in Special Olympics. You know, as they say, you know, in these unusual times, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Thanks for hanging in with Special Olympics in this unusual time, and thanks so much for being the supporters as you are to the movement.
I like that they got air horns on. They got air horns after every video there. That's really cool the way they've done that.
It's appropriate. Yeah.
I think it is appropriate. So, you know what? We were talking earlier when we started out this morning. I had asked you about some of the, I'm going to call them the celebrity stars that show up. And they don't all have to be celebrities, but we have a lot of people who, organizations that get involved, and sometimes they don't even, they just support their drivers. So if their drivers say, hey, I would like to be involved in this organization, a lot of company owners and management will say, go ahead, if they think it's a good cause. But of course, that's taking away from what they normally do. Sometimes that's taking a truck off the road. Sometimes it's taking a truck and a driver. Sometimes it is, changing operations to suit that. So I caught up with a couple last year that, and one of them, as I mentioned, Vernon Erb, who passed away earlier this year. I had a chat to talk with Vernon, and you've probably seen the Erb fleet in the Convoy for years. They've always come out many times, multiple trucks, and it was nice to see him. But this was his first year in 2019. So let me play this video for you here from Vernon Erb. Oh, good for you. Well, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a couple questions about the Convoy. We're a media sponsor for the Convoy. Is that all right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'm here with Vernon Erb, and is this your first time out to the Convoy?
It's first time here. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Are you driving?
I drove here. Yes.
So they had Dan from Challenger and Mike Millions in this from PMTC. They're getting a lot of you guys that we're behind the desk now out this. You remember how to drive? You've been driving for a while?
Oh yeah, I still drive every couple of weeks. I go on a truck run somewhere.
Because it's been about 10 years since I've been. I drove for 25, but it's been a while since I've been in the truck. So what got you out to be part of Special Olympics this year?
Well, I think Roger Kalma talked to me about it, and Jim Pinder, and so they asked me back in the summer time, and I said, yeah, I think I've got this state open, so I decided to come and see what it's all about.
Now, which truck are you driving? Because I know you have a very old truck. What's the old one that I see a lot at Clifford in these old-time shows? You've got, it's an old...
that's an old TransStar cab over, but I have a 9900 International.
Oh, okay.
About 4 years old, I guess, and it's sort of my truck.
Okay,
it was specially built for myself, and I'm about the only one that drives it. There's another driver that was driving it up until last week, but he has to quit. He was 85 years old. I'm not quite at 85, but I'm getting close to it.
Well, you look great. I don't know what age. I'm not about to ask them. We're not doing that kind of a podcast. We're just doing about trucking. So, does Erb encourage a lot of their people to get involved in causes like this?
Yes, they certainly do. We try to encourage them to get involved. And
have you had anybody with special needs part of your family at all? Is there any inspiration?
No, not really. No, we've been quite fortunate. Our family all seems to be well. So,
do you think all your drivers are going to come out and either root for you or hope that? What do you think it's going to go like this week?
Not sure. I really don't know.
Have you been in a convoy before, like whether it's this one or another?
Not really. No. I may have years ago. I'm not sure, but I don't remember. But. This is, I often read about it and hear about it, but this year when they asked me if I'd be interested to be part of it, to participate in it, I thought, well, may as well see what it's all about.
Well, listen, you know what? It enforces to everybody else how passionate the industry is about giving back. Whether it's your first time or whether it's your 10th time, it doesn't matter. We appreciate you taking your time. We know you've got a busy schedule, and we appreciate you taking your time and coming in.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Vernon. Appreciate it. That was a great interview with Vernon. And have you ever spoken with Vernon, Jim? Or do you know him at all? Or you probably know I know you know Erb fleet.
I know Erb for sure. I've met Vernon a number of times at various events. Spent time chatting with him. I wouldn't want to say I know him, but certainly have run into him a few times over the years.
Yeah. He's a great guy. And I spoke with Mike Million. Now, you may not know the name Mike Million. I'm sure most of you do, but he is also the president of the PMTC, which is one of our silver sponsors this year. Now, Mike is probably the same as you and I, Jim, where we've been out of the truck for a while. I know you've been out for a while. I've been out for probably about 14 years now since I stopped driving professionally. And after a while, you kind of you support all these causes, but to get back in them. So I know that Tammy had a little bit of making sure that Mike got in last year, and here's the interview I had with Mike. All right, so I have Mike Million here, who has probably never driven a truck in as long as I have, but drove from Kitchener. We apologize if you're on the 401, Mike. So how's it going, Mike?
Good, and I backroaded it to the 401, so all right.
So did you remember how to drive a tractor trailer? It's been a long time since we did that.
It's been almost 5 years since I was in a truck, and I got from Kitchener to here, and as far as I know, I didn't hear any horns, I didn't see any fingers, and I didn't hit anything. So.
We're gonna go and find a whole bunch of mailboxes out on the side road. So you had people trying to pledge you to get into this, right?
Yeah. Tammy was kind enough to get Kenworth to donate a truck for me to use. Trailer Wizards donated a trailer, and then we went out and fundraised and tried to get pledges. So 30-some people sponsor, and when I pulled in the gate here, we'd raised $1,510 towards the Special Olympic athletes. So.
Oh, good for you, buddy. Now, is this your first year been involved? We've been involved. I haven't seen you here too much. I know you're on the road a lot.
PMTC's been involved for 4 years now. We, as part of our conference every year, instead of giving gifts to our conference, we donate $1,000 towards this convoy. It's only my second time being here, though. One other time, I use the term loosely. They had me as one of the celebrity chefs, so they were really struggling for celebrities. Tammy's been trying to get me to drive in this for years. I still play fastball, believe it or not.
Oh, is that right?
And our fastball playoff tournament was always the same weekend as this convoy.
Okay,
They moved it up a week this year, so our tournament was last weekend. So when Tammy heard that, she wasn't letting me make any excuses this year, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm not sure if you know there's a baseball game going on tomorrow. You might still be playing baseball.
I've heard that. Might have a better chance of not hurting myself in that one, though.
So what is the feeling with the PMTC, the association as Private Motor Truck Council, but people have been involved with this. Is there anybody that you, since you started this year, pledging, is there anybody that's kind of come on board and said, hey, we didn't know about Special Olympics, we should get involved more?
I don't think so. Most of our members, I think, have been involved. Home Hardware has been on our board for years, and Home Hardware brings 15 trucks up here or better every year. A lot of the people on our board had already heard about it, and I think part of the reason we wanted to get involved with it is, one, it's a charity. We believe highly in it, and it's something that the trucking industry is heavily involved in, and it's a way for the industry to give back.
Do you know any other big celebrities like yourself driving, like Dan White? I always have a problem with Dan's last name, but Dan was in last year. I don't know if he's come back this year. But
Dan's in again this year. Vernon Erdman is in this year.
Oh, so it's like a top celebrity convoys going on.
Well, I think for how long they've been in the industry and what they've accomplished, I'm probably a little lower down there yet. But no, it's a heavy involvement from the industry.
The burgers are out back, if I remember correctly. Well, listen, Mike, thanks for being involved. Thanks for getting on board, man, and getting in the seat. Like, we need some of that frontline grassroots stuff going on for sure. Right?
Well, we'll try to keep it between the lines and the shiny side up.
I will be making sure I stand off to this. Thanks, Mike. See you later. I had a great time with Mike. I see Mike a lot. I always have a great time with him. So he's certainly got some more. So I got one more video in this section I want to share with you because I had a chance to talk with MTO Chris Davies. Now, Chris is one of those few that I like about law enforcement that are actually changing the game. And I'm sure, Jim, you can relate. When did you start driving? What was your first year driving when you actually started driving?
I'd say 80 is in a tractor trailer.
Okay, so we're the same because I was 82 when I first started driving tractor trailer. And it's always been kind of the police against the truckers. It's always been that thing. Maybe it's because of the 70s and the movies. But we always had that. And it, like anything else, once you start meeting people, much like these athletes, once you start meeting these athletes, you go, this is amazing. This is how can I help? And it's the same thing with MTO, same thing with OPP and several police officers. You think that they're on the other side, that they're they're the good guys, I guess, but we think they're the bad guys until you start meeting them and you realize how important it is. And I did an interview with MTO officer Chris Davies last year at the Convoy, and I'd like to play that if I can. Davies here, the MTO. How are we doing?
We're doing great.
Good. So, is this your first time being involved with Convoy?
It is, yeah. Tammy approached us about a month ago and wanted to get a better connection with MTO in terms of having our officers here to mingle, and all these drivers are all safety-minded.
Right.
To get them in touch as well with our 511 and our Provincial Highways Management Division as well.
It's an amazing event. This is probably our 5th year being part of it, and it just gets bigger and bigger every year. Are you going to actually be driving in it yourself?
We are. We're going to have a vehicle at the end of the convoy to tell motorists that there's the Special Olympics convoy ahead. and we'll have a vehicle near the front of the convoy as well to communicate with our traffic operations center so they can update the traffic signs at the side of the 401.
All right, so all the drivers are wondering if you're really going to just pull them into the scales, Chris. Like, really, what's going on? You're going to pull them into the scales and do all kind of inspections the whole day?
Just between you and me, everyone thinks they're doing a U-turn at Putnam Road.
I knew it.
We're going to block that puppy off, and everyone's coming to Putnam.
I knew it. Anyway, if you see lights behind you in the convoy, they're just part of the convoy. He's not pulling you over. Chris, thank you very much for your time. All right, so that's a great interview with Chris there, and got a message that we may have disconnected. Sorry if that's the case. I didn't on this side, but I'm not sure if that's what people are seeing. So anyway, hope everybody's having a great time. You can still donate truckconvoy.ca. I know we sound like Jerry Lewis, and I'm not sure who the other guy is. Jim, you had some information from past convoys that you wanted to share. Did you want to, this is probably a good spot if you want to
sure.
talk about that a little bit.
A couple little milestones here. Just ahead of that though, you talk about the interaction with police and truck drivers, historically not being great. There was a moment, I won't forget it for a long time, if ever, down in Quebec when Quebec had their convoy. The convoy was over. Everybody was congratulating one another on a great event. And there was a woman police officer, fairly petite, and this great burly, hairy old truck driver, after the event, were hugging, arms around one another. Both had tears coming down their faces in celebration of what had just happened. I don't think anybody really foresaw, the convoy coming off as well as it did, and certainly the reaction between law enforcement and the trucking community at that stage was, maybe not great. But to see these two embraced in this hug with the tears and everything, what a moment. I've got a picture of it somewhere in my archives, but I couldn't possibly hope to dig it up now, but it was touching for sure. So just going back through a couple of stories that I'd written over the years, tracking the convoy and doing a little report after the fact for the magazine, for Highway Star at the time. And I was looking through those earlier, just trying to pick up some numbers and get some names and stuff that were kind of interesting. 2006, for example, this was the second year of the convoy, 101 trucks registered that year, and drivers brought in about $45,000.
Wow.
That was the second year. I mean, this thing was barely even breathing yet. And there was that level of interest. Now, over the years, it fluctuated, was up and down a little bit. In 2012, for example, we had 51 trucks, half the number of trucks, but $42,000 came in. So, I mean, the drivers who were engaged at the time, fewer of them, but they still brought in just about as much money. So it shows the enthusiasm that drivers have for this. 2012, by the way, was the year that the Halifax convoy began. So, we could see these things spreading across the country. I believe Paris, Ontario was the first Canadian one, and then they migrated west and east from there. And most of them are still going. A few of them fell by the wayside, but it's a pretty big event. And I think the success we had at Paris was what spawned a lot of these other ones. And, truckers being competitive, if you're in Manitoba or Calgary, you say, well, darn those people in Southern Ontario, we're going to do better than they are. So, I mean, that kind of competition and stuff is just great. 2015, there was a neat moment. The Hamilton Hawks goaltender, Jim Cook, he's a Special Olympics athlete. He came out with all his equipment and he was setting up his net in the hall, and folks were taking shots at him. And he actually managed to, kick out more than 200 shots, including one from Brent Gretzky, who's the younger brother of course, the great one that we all know. But that particular event, people were paying $1 or $2 for a shot, raised an additional $500 for the convoy that day. That's pretty cool when that sort of thing happens, and especially when we can get the athletes involved in the day-to-day running of the convoy. Just one more here before we cut back, and I'll leave you alone here. I know you've heard too much of me, but shut up.
No. I was gonna actually before you go on, Jim. I was gonna add something to what you're just saying there. That's why I was cutting in. I wasn't cutting in to cut you off.
Oh yeah, I know that before.
All those other people in the comments said, "No, I'm kidding." No, but you know what? When you were saying some stuff like the hockey player that came in dressed up to take shots, I go, I'm always amazed, and I know you go to as many of these events that I do, of how creative people get in trying to raise money. And, sometimes it's happy accidents. And I'm going to share with you a story that just happened the other day. We have on my one of my live calls that I do on a weekly basis for the podcast, we have a kind of a question answer game. And at the end of it, if you get all of them right, it's basically a $25 gift card is what I would normally give the contestant. Well, there was a number of them playing, and they said to donate to Special Olympics. So I didn't think of that. So we took that money and we matched it, and we gave $50 to the Special Olympics. So I know it's not a great amount, but it just shows how creative, that you can, if you're trying to raise money, maybe instead of thinking of just the bake sale or just the truck wash or whatever you've seen in the past, there's probably ways in everybody that they can get. And I like the hockey player aspect. That's really cool. So I just wanted to mention that. Thanks.
Yeah, especially when it involves the athletes. That makes it, just brings it around full circle a little bit.
Right.
So just final note here. Last year, was our 15th anniversary, I guess it was. 133 trucks came out, $133,000 brought in that day. And that brought the cumulative, I have a hard time with that word, total for all the convoys up to that point, Paris convoys I'm talking about here, $1.063 million.
Wow.
That number's probably been revised since I wrote it, but that's a lot of money.
I know. I was going to throw up the $1 million picture there, but I didn't have it at the ready. So sorry I did miss that.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. That's cool. No, it's amazing how much, and every little bit counts. I'm sure in year one, they probably sat around and said, "Can we raise $1 million?" And everybody said, "Oh, we're never going to raise $1 million." And here we are 15 years later, and we hit that mark and going strong. And even, a year like this where there's a pandemic and people are struggling and it's very we don't know what's going to go on next. We think, okay, we can't raise any money or we can't have and here we've come in with some great money today, and I'm sure the total is going to be pretty impressive later on. And that's for a year. People will find ways to get things done, and that's what I love about everything that we're doing here.
Exactly, and like I said earlier, the ingenuity and determination that people bring to this is quite remarkable.
Yeah. Well, thanks for those stories. It's really amazing, and I'm sure you've probably got more there. You've been writing for how many years? I'm sure we could probably do a whole show just on your stories.
I've been writing as long as I've been driving, actually, okay. Which is surprising longer, in fact.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I've known of you for years before I even met you, and met you years and years ago. So we're going good. I want to talk about a special group that does not seem to get much mention here, and that is the coaches for the Special Olympics. I have met many coaches in my lifetime. And you know what? You've got to be a special person. It's one thing to volunteer for your kid's soccer team or something like that. It's another thing to hold a class or hold a workshop once in a while. But to be a coach and be every day, and it's not just showing them how to do their sport. It's about you get involved with their lives and you start kind of taking care of them. I always find that's a remarkable person. And I was a couple years ago, I went to Simcoe to interview some of the athletes, and I talked to a coach named Shirley, and I thought she was really remarkable for what she did. And I want to just play that interview for you right here. All right, so we have Shirley Shaw here, and Shirley is the swim coach, right? And tell us your exact title here.
I'm the head swim coach for the Simcoe Seals in Simcoe, and I'm the community coordinator.
Okay, and how long have you been part of the Special Olympics program?
Roughly about 18 years.
18 years, and have you been coaching all that time, or?
Yes.
So you're a good swimmer.
I used to be. Now I coach from the side.
So now, have you been involved with the truck convoy? Are you involved with different ones, or?
Yes, I've been involved with the truck convoy. I help we pick the athletes and arrange for them to go and get them there and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's awesome. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. They do so much good for Special Olympics.
Yeah, and truck drivers get a bad rap at the best of times. Sometimes I was a truck driver for 25 years, but boy, when you go to the Convoy, you see them doing so much good. How does the money that's raised through the Convoy affect these athletes?
Oh, big time. It helps with transportation. It helps them go to provincial, national, and world games. And that takes a lot of money. We have to do our own fundraising. We have to come up with some, but we can't get it all. So all this really helps with all that. And what I enjoy the most is seeing the truckers with the athletes there. I don't know if you've seen that. It's just amazing, the magnet they have with each other. And a lot of them recognize, oh, there's my friend from last year, right? Yeah. So even though they get new truck drivers, they still go to their old ones and say hi,
Yeah, it's a big thing. I've been involved. We've probably been involved the last couple years with it. I started doing T-shirt designs for them, you see that magic. Like until you actually go there and participate, you don't. You hear about it. You know it's a good cause, but boy, when you go there and you see the smiles on their faces and all the good that's being done, what's the best part of the Convoy? That you don't drive, do you?
No. I watch and take pictures. No, and try to help them organize some stuff. The best part of the Convoy, I really like the camaraderie between the truckers and the athletes. I think that's the absolute best. It puts smiles on their faces. They're so excited to see them. Just to tell them, oh, well, you're going to the Convoy. Oh, it's just, yeah. So we try to give everybody a chance to go.
We're in Simcoe. I'm from Burlington, but we're in Simcoe now. How many athletes would be in a general area? I don't know. Do you have any kind of numbers?
In Haldom and Norfolk area, we have about 120 in our community, registered athletes. Yeah. So
I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, you don't know because you meet them one at a time and you meet them at events and you don't know if there's any actual numbers, right? Yeah. So, well, thanks for all the work that you do and all the.
Thank you, and thanks for coming down. I know you made these guys' day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Hopefully, we'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll be there. We'll be there, and they made my day. So this is one 2 years ago. So there's a new one coming out this year for 50th anniversary. So it'll be great. So you'll get a new shirt this year. Thanks for being on the show, Shirley.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
Shirley was an absolute love. I could have talked to her all day. She was really good. And I'd just like to share some of the interviews I did with a few of her athletes. You may recognize this celebrity athlete. Is that how you do it? I don't know if that's bunny ears almost. Anyway, I can do it. But Amanda was one of the ones I talked to, and she was on the poster the year, I think it was the year I was doing her interview. So we have Amanda Shaw with us, and Amanda does a number of sports and also was, I'm going to say, the poster person for the Convoy in previous years. So how you doing, Amanda?
Good.
Good. So you were just telling me that you were on a poster for the Convoy. How cool was that?
Awesome.
Was it with the person that you were in the Convoy with the driver?
Yes.
Very cool. So what sports do you do? You do all kinds of stuff. What kind of sports do you do?
I do swimming, bowling 5-pin, and bowling 10-pin, and putt golf.
All the sports that I love. I love golf, and I'm no good at bowling, so I'm going to leave that to you. And I can swim, but I'm going to leave that to you too. So how long have you been doing those sports?
18.
18 years you've been doing those sports, so you must be pretty good at them.
Yes.
What do you like best about the Convoy, about going to the Convoy?
I like doing the blow the horn.
Right, blowing the horn?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. How can we know that you're going to do that? What do you do it the whole time that you're on the road?
Yes.
That'll wake everybody up going through town, right?
Yes.
Great. And so, how do you when you go there, you blow the horn? What other stuff do you do when you go to the Convoy?
I always talking to my friends.
Yeah. That's cool. Have you got lots of friends that come with you to the Convoy?
Yes.
Yeah. And are they all doing sports like yourself, with swimming and bowling and golf?
Yes.
Are you a scratch golfer?
No.
Because I wouldn't be a good scratch golfer. Anyway, okay. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. That's great. So we'll see you at the Convoy this year?
Yes.
All right. She's a doll. Okay. Since she brought it, I'm gonna play a couple other videos from that segment there, but we're gonna move into golf since she mentioned golf. And I told you that I am not a scratch golfer. Here's why. This is from my television show. I actually interviewed the Special Olympics athletes here in Burlington for the show, and they were golfing. And I don't know why, because I'm not that good a golfer. I don't know why I would suggest that we do this on television in cameras, but this is the golf competition between myself and the Special Olympics athletes. I'm sure you'll enjoy this.
Sandy, you're going to go with Bob. You want to go load up, and I'll be right there, Sandy, okay? Don't put your clubs in the car. We'll be with you. Be right there, buddy.
All right, so if they stay on either side of me, does this work?
Yeah, you got us. All righty, I am rolling first.
All right, so we are here with a couple of the coaches from Special Olympics. We've got Bob Elliott. How are we doing, Bob?
Hey, Bruce.
And we've got Andy Wilk. How are we doing?
Hey, great, thanks. Yeah.
Good. So Andy's been trying to get out of this interview for so long, so I'm going to keep a hand on him so he doesn't go too far. So what got you involved with Special Olympics?
My daughter got me involved in Special Olympics. Yeah, we started this.
Yeah.
Just make sure you stay back.
Okay. So you want to do an intro first?
Yeah. 1 second here.
All right, so we are going to do a big golf challenge here. These three guys, Lee, Sandy, and Joe, are all going in a golf tournament, and we're going to see the best one. So the first one we're going to do is Lee. Lee, are you ready? We're going to see how far Lee can hit. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, these are the guys. These guys are top. They're the ones going in to the tournament. They're representing Special Olympics Burlington. Woohoo, Special Olympics Burlington. Woo! Yeah, right on. For sure. Okay. All right, here we go. So Sandy's going to take us out with this one. Oh, you want to try another one? Want to try another one real quick? Okay, there you go. Hold on. I don't want to get here.
Give out the ball.
Find the ball. Nice. Hey. Awesome. Way to go, Sandy. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. That was awesome. Oh, you want to play? Let's play.
One of my friends, the one time was all the guys watching the TV and the golf tournament. I can win that match.
you know what I like? It's like he's doing trash talking like they do in the wrestling games. That's what I like. All right, Joe, you ready, buddy?
Yeah.
You feeling confident?
Yeah.
Need me to show you? No, I don't think so.
Oh, good.
Oh!
Oh!
I don't know who went farther because they all looked really the same. Do you guys think I could beat you? You want to do a challenge? Should I be in the challenge there?
Okay.
Yeah. I accept. Okay, these worlds. Look. All right. Joe, can I use your club?
Yeah.
You should be good. Okay, hold it. Can you hold this for me? All right, you ready? I want to stand back.
No singing while he's playing.
All right, you guys. No laughing. And you'll have to wait to see that. See how I did that, Jim? I got myself.
Yeah, clever guy.
You have to
give up your day job, though, Bruce.
Yeah, you have to. You'll have to watch the show. I actually cut it off there so that people would go watch the show. So I apologize for that. And I'm sorry for the wind noise that we had there. Unfortunately, that was my camera that was picking that up, not the other camera. So, anything you want to add there, Jim? Is this what do you got? I got a couple more videos from athletes I want to play, but is there anything you need to get in there?
I just go toss back to the baseball games we used to play at Paris. 12 duffer truck drivers, trying to swing a bat and catch and throw a ball. Whereas, the Special Olympics team practice, they're good players. They're serious about the game. and to watch the intensity and the enthusiasm when they play in those baseball games was great. I mean, we couldn't have beat them if, well, we couldn't. Couldn't hit the ball, couldn't catch the ball. It was pretty sad. But, we gave it the old college try, but the Special Olympics crowd just, man, they walked right over us. So,
yeah, you didn't see that.
Who you're messing with is my message.
You didn't see that first golfer, Lee, who had the blue shirt on, but he is about 7 feet tall. And when he actually hit the ball, it went out. Like, I can't hit that much. So anyway, I want to get back to a couple of the interviews I had with the Special Olympics. This one was Amy. She's out of the Simcoe team as well, and she was doing such a great job there. All right, so I got to practice Amy's name now. Amy Buckbarrel.
Yes.
All right, got one for the team. Okay, so Amy, what sports do you do?
I do swimming, bowling, baseball, and basketball.
Oh, you've got a little bit different. So you don't golf like the rest.
No, I'm not a good golfer.
So how long have you been part of the Special Olympics program?
I would say probably 12 years.
12 years. And where have you gone? So we heard that Jason went to PEI. Where have you gone on your programs, or where have you traveled?
I've traveled to BC. I went to BC. I got a gold. Nice. And we've been to Montreal. The whole thing goes, yeah, it was awesome.
Do you guys all have gold medals?
Basically, everybody has a gold medal.
I want a gold medal. I don't have a gold medal. How do you get a gold medal? You just have to be awesome?
You just have to be really good and try your best. That's all that matters.
And that's what you do. Have you been to the Convoy before?
Yes, I have.
What do you think about it?
I like the truckers, like meeting the new truckers and riding in the trucks and honking the horn like Amanda does.
Do you go to the same? Do you get the same driver every time, or because I think it's kind of like a lottery, like they choose them, right?
Yeah, they kind of choose who you got. Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about riding in the truck?
I just like riding in the truck and looking at different things outside and honking and talking on the walkie-talkie and people and stuff.
Do you talk to the other athletes while you're driving on the road?
Yes.
Do you guys talk about swimming, bowling, baseball, and basketball?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's great. So are we going to see you at the Convoy this year?
I hope so.
I hope so, too, because I want you to come and say hello. Well, thanks very much for being on the podcast. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. And take a bow for your gold medal. We have Jason take one. All right, so we got one more. Jason, you heard his name a couple times in that interview, and you've seen Jason around. He has been around the Convoy for a long time. And here's the interview from him. He's also part of Simcoe. All right, so we are here with some of the members of the swimming team for the Special Olympics. I've got Jason Gordy. How you doing, Jason?
Very good.
Good. So tell me, you've been part of this for a long time. What's the sport that you're involved with?
I do golf, 5-pin, 10-pin bowling, basketball, floor hockey.
And do you do swimming?
I coach.
Oh, a junior coach for the swimming. Oh, that's above the swimming. Okay, let me ask you this, Jason. Can you actually swim?
Yes.
Good. It's always good that the coach is coaching swimming knows how to swim. Okay, so how long have you been part of the Special Olympics committee?
14, 15, no, 25 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. So you're a veteran of the program, as we call it, right? Yeah. And so, have you been to the truck convoy before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
Awesome. Yeah. Just all the trucks and with some of the drivers.
Do you ride in the same truck every year?
No, not all the time. No.
No, but it's pretty cool. So how many times have you been to the convoy? Tell us about that. 20 years too?
No, 10 years, yeah. Because the first one I went to before, one of my old workers took us down to it before, but she like I said, she used to be one of my workers.
Right. So the money that this Convoy raises and the other parts of the association doing their jobs raises money for you to get to events. You just went to an event. Tell us about the event you just went to.
I went to PEI for 10-pin bowling, and I brought back 3 gold, 1 silver from 10-pin bowling.
Wow. Hey, do you want to stand up and take a bow? That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Look. I didn't tell you to get a speech ready, but that's really cool. Congratulations. How did that make you feel winning all those events?
Cool.
So you think you're going to be like a rock star at the Convoy this year?
Maybe.
Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you very much for being on, and thank you for all the good work you're doing in your sports.
Thanks very much.
All right, so that's a great interview with Jason there. I've got a couple more videos I want to share, and I'm going to put this out now, but I'm also going to put it out together. And I don't know if you got that text, Jim, but we already have people registering for next year. Now, so you're probably going, you're probably going to yourself, when is next year's Convoy, Bruce? How can I register if I don't even know when it is? All right. So next year's Convoy is September 17th and 18th, almost to this weekend, 2021. 18th is the Saturday, so that's the main event, and then 17th will be the Friday night. And I just got a, who was it? Oh, sorry, here. It was Tammy that emailed me, and it was Brian, I believe. Let's see. Sorry, folks, I can't work my phone. Okay, so yes, it was Brian Hilton just committed his registration for 2021, and he texted a screenshot to Tammy. So he is in. So that is our next Convoy. We will announce it again at the end. We're not done, but I just wanted to tell you there that the challenge has begun. So let's move on, shall we? Jim, have you ever seen Smokey and the Bandit? What do you think of that movie?
Oh, about 18 times, one for each wheel. I love it. It pokes a lot of fun at the institution of law enforcement and trucking, too.
I agree.
There's not many guys I know can run over a restaurant full of Harleys and get away with it.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
For my birthday this year, my wife actually bought me a Smokey and the Bandit t-shirt, and I was over the moon. She could have bought me a Cadillac. The only thing would have been better would be a 1975 Kenworth, but we're all good. We're good with that.
Yeah, take what we can get, right?
So I have met over the years at the convoys, I have met a number of people who do Smokey and the Bandit. And one is this couple here, and I apologize for forgetting their name, but they were at one of the first convoys, and they actually dress up like Burt Reynolds and Sally Field from the movie. They actually are married, and they drive around. Now, I've met a couple people that have the Firebird. This is one. And I've also met the people that play Buford T. Justice. And this would be... This is the other one. And I just saw Chris, the guy who owns a car, I just saw him last weekend. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Smokey and the Bandit, not only because it's not really about convoying, although there's a convoy in it, which is probably the biggest scene and my favorite scene of the movie. But I'm bringing that up because if you enjoy Smokey and the Bandit, to help for fundraising for the torch run, they are holding an event tomorrow. And we're not signing off because I'm saying the events now. I just want people to kind of start putting those kind of things in the back of their mind. And they are having an event tomorrow, which is watching Smokey and the Bandit. So how cool is that? Sunday, September 20th. You can go, and the proceeds are going to the law enforcement torch run, which of course is the ones who help with Special Olympics. So you can meet the Bandit and Buford T. Justice. It might be the same ones I just showed you. I don't know, but it's at the Starlight Drive-In, 59 Green Mountain Road in Stony Creek. So if you are a Smokey and the Bandit fan, gates open at 4:00, and that might be the place for you. You will probably see me there. So I think we're getting close to the end. Can I play a couple more athlete interviews, because I think I love seeing the athlete interviews. It just shows you how much what we're doing makes a difference. Do you mind if I show you a couple more videos, Jim?
I can certainly sit through them, Bruce.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a short one. We met Chris earlier. You may not have noticed, but when I showed you the video with Scotty Verbruggen and Chris, and this is one I did just with Chris, and that was at the Woodstock Truck Show a couple years ago. All right, So we have Chris here at the Woodstock Truck Show. So, Chris, how are you involved in this show?
I made Scotty Bergen to do it for change, and Scotty, my buddy right there, he plays on my brother's hockey team, and he's an awesome player.
Oh, all right. So when he's not driving trucks, he's a hockey guy. But so have you been part of the Special Olympics before?
Yes, I do bowling, basketball, volleyball, baseball, and floor hockey, and soccer.
Okay, and have you been part of the Special Olympic truck convoy?
Yes, I am. September 15th, me and Scotty's going to Paris and do some convoy.
Convoy? Do you always ride with Scotty, or could you ride with anybody?
I always ride with Scotty. He's the best.
Oh, I think you got a true fan over here, Scott. So listen, have you ever been in trucks before this, or what was your deal with the trucks?
Yes, I've been in Scotty's truck number 17.
Yeah. Does he have you clean it?
No way! I'll make him clean it every night.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Give back, right? What's the coolest thing about being in the trucks?
I vote for that number 11 right there.
And do you get at the Olympics in your sport? Do they give you new uniforms from the money that comes here?
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's pretty
cool. Sometimes we get red shirts for bowling, and got your names on the bowling shirts.
Okay, and how long have you been involved with the convoy?
About 15.
15 years? 15 years you've been involved?
Yeah. Scotty, how many years have we been in it? Yeah. 6 years or 7 years.
All right, so what do you want to tell other people about the truck show? What do you want to tell there's other truckers listening. Pretend this is a CB radio and other truckers are listening. What do you want to tell them about the show?
I would vote for Scotty's dad.
So what Chris is saying is that if you bring your truck here, you cannot win the show and shine because Scotty's got it all wrapped up. Is that what we're hearing?
Scott, I don't want Scotty to win. I want Scotty's dad to win.
Sounds like a family feud. Chris, thank you very much for your time, man. That was awesome. Appreciate that. All right. So, I have so much fun. As you can see, it's a lot of fun interviewing these athletes. Okay, I got just one more to show you. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's actually 10 minutes long. It's with Brian. Brian. Now, if I get Brian's last name right, it's Brian Kleinstuber. Now, Brian and I did this years ago. He was one of the first athletes I ever interviewed, and we did it over Zoom like this or over the internet. I have never seen anybody so excited. This has to be one of my favorite interviews here.
Special friend who several times, and because I know my buddy that drives moving truck the truck last year, this year, Kent, he told me I could go for a tour one day, but we've been trying to track him down, and all we've gotten from him was we haven't seen him we haven't seen him in the distribution center, but I've been trying to find out what his address is so I can go to his house and say ask him what the heck's going on with this tour, because he arranged for me to go for a tour, and 2 days later I find okay, he said, Brian, come for a tour, and we've been trying to track him down, but he's the best and I still love him, but and plus this convoy, it started a while way back. Some of my friends actually are in it now too. A buddy of mine who told me about it was a good friend of mine, and Ken, who I went last year. That's how I was started with this truck convoy, and he told me about it. And then I got to ride in his truck, and he gave me a hat, sweatshirt, and then he gave me cookies for the ride, and he gave me pop, and he had a fridge in there, and what a ride.
Yeah, well, he's probably pretty busy. Truckers are hard people to get hold of, right? Because they're on the road. So
yeah,
that was I love that. He goes on. He was getting so excited about the truck, and so for you drivers, if you are promising them that you'll come and please either deliver or don't say that, because they get so excited. He still remembered, and that was a while ago. So that's it. You got anything else to add there, Jim? I think we're actually almost at total time. Not sure if you got anything you want to share before we get there.
Nothing I haven't already said one way or another so far. Just love participating in this event. I love being around all those generous people, and it's a really fun day. Lead up to it, everything else. Registration's open, so sign up for next year and don't waste any time. And I think one way or the other, COVID-19 or not, we did it this year. We can do it again next year if we have to, but I'm certainly hoping we're going to go live next year.
Yeah. I got to tell you, from those interviews, you saw that I did those interviews in past years, and they love the high fives. They love all of that stuff, so it's really hard for the athletes. I am sure it's hard for all of us, for sure. It's hard for me, but it's really hard, I think, for the athletes to not be able to, get that support, whether it's a handshake or a high five or a hug or whatever it is that they normally get from their teammates and their peers. So, send them some support, send them some stuff. And I think, do you have the total there, Jim, or do I need to text it over to you? I got it on this end. Do you have it on that end?
I've got it here.
Okay, good. So we're going to, I don't have any drum rolls. Do you want me to do it on the desk?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Go for it, Jim.
Ready.
Let us know what it is.
The grand total this year, $18,970.43.
Woo!
Whoa, and that's without a gallon of fuel being burned or a mile being turned. Isn't that imagine what we can do next year with 150 trucks.
Imagine if we actually had trucks.
That's a surprising number.
Yes. So I think I can share with everybody that our total for this year, or our goal, not our total, but our goal for this year was to get to $20,000. You can still help us do that. I think we're at 18. What'd you say it was?
$18,970.
All right. So we are only like, we're almost there, right? Another $1,000,
$1,130 short of 20,000.
Yeah. So we can still do this.
That's like 40 t-shirts.
40 t-shirts. Go order Jim 40 t-shirts. No, buy for the whole team. No. Okay. So there is still time to do this. So they are going to leave the fundraising page open. They are going to leave the t-shirt page open. I'm not able to do it while I'm online here, but as soon as I get off, I will post the link on the page for where you can go order the t-shirts. But basically you can go to truckconvoy.ca and just click on the link for order t-shirts. It'll take you to that page. So you can still do that. You can still donate, and that will still go to the goal. So there's still a chance of hitting the goal. And I know from myself, and I'm sure Jim won't mind me saying so, thank you. For all of you that stepped forward this year, and we know it's a hard year and it was a rough year for everybody, and not people have money or jobs or whatever. Thank you, because we know that took a lot for you to get there. So we really appreciate that. Jim?
I would echo that totally. Thank you very much for all your support and your enthusiasm, and let's hope we can maintain it again next year.
Yeah.
It's been a slice, Bruce. Nice working with you on this, and I was glad to be part of it again this year.
Yeah, a lot of fun. You're a staple. Like, we just put you in. The year you can't make it, Jim, we're gonna have to get a cardboard. We're gonna have to get a cardboard cutout of you that we put up behind the podium. You know what? The coolest thing about this was we didn't have to lift the podium. This was awesome.
That's cool too. Yeah, you gotta like that.
Yeah, nobody had to set up anything. Anyway, but you know what? I know that from the comments and the conversations that I've had, that people they actually miss that. As much as it's a lot of hard work, we know where the money's going and where the effort's going, and that makes a lot of us want to do it. So the years that we can't do it, it actually, we feel bad about it. So I know everybody's done their thing. We really appreciate it, but there's next year, and you know what? We're going to just be positive right now and say that there's going to be, the pandemic will be over and we can do this in person, and we will hopefully do that. So Saturday, September 18th is the Convoy date. The 17th is the Friday night. And we haven't mentioned it here. You may have seen it in some footage. The Friday nights of these things, you want to get out there and get involved, because they have car shows. They have usually the Challenger buses there showing Smokey and the Bandit or Convoy. There's people with balloons. There's musicians like Eric Traplin. There's DJs. We've mentioned it a little bit before, but there's a lot of stuff going on the Friday as well. So plan to make it a whole double-day event there, and get involved. Bring out the family. It's a great way to help another cause and spend some time with the family, and show them what the trucking industry is, because we just saw how awesome you are. On a bad year, we still almost hit $20,000, which is great. So I think we're going to sign this one off. If you can make it tomorrow, don't forget about the event tomorrow in Stony Creek. I will post that up on the page afterwards as well. And I think we need to go out with a Convoy. You all right with that, Jim?
I'm all right with that, Bruce. Roll 'em, man.
Okay. Big thank you to our sponsors again for being on board there. Challenger, PMTC, Heritage, Driver Check, Lead Pedal Podcast, Today's Trucking, Coaster Factory, OIDA, Twin City Graphics. Thank you to all of our volunteers for all that you've done. It's been absolutely amazing, and I think we're going to take this one out with Eric's song, which is a beautiful song that he wrote this year. If I can get one to stop and the other one to start. Okay, here we go. See you, folks. Thank you very much for all you've done. Thanks for being on. Thank you very much. We had Sean on, Georgina, Sandra, Nancy, the Special Olympics people, Diane, Megan, Jim, Sean, Brian, Jacqueline, Diane, Sean. I think I mentioned you guys already. Thank you, everybody. Jim was on, Tammy was on, Nancy was on. Have a great one, folks. We will see you later. Bye for now.
With pockets full of pledges gathered throughout the year. It's our Special Olympics convoy. You can hear the athletes cheer. That's the way we roll. Oh, that's the way we roll. We gather from across this land to take part in Dr. Hayden's plan of inclusion and respect for all. In this we all stand tall. That's the way we roll. Oh, that's the way we roll. Turn and burn. Feel the ground beneath your feet as it rumbles to the beat. As 1,000 tons of trucks go rolling down the street, you can hear the truckers call as they put the hammer down. That's the way we roll. That's the way we roll. One by one in a row. Just sit back and watch them go. Cargo full of hopes and dreams for the Special Olympic teams. That's the way. Yeah, that's the way we roll. Mount their steeds of steel in the early morn, with pockets full of pledges gathered throughout the year. It's our Special Olympics convoy.